Well, we've got the Phillies. And are you ready to let your guard down? We got the Eagles, Nakobe Dean. There's a lot of talk this weekend about Nakobe Dean. They were the things I wanted to talk about. But breaking news, literally just minutes ago, the Eagles will be kicking off the 2025 season Thursday night, September 4th, against the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to start with that, then get into the Phillies and Nakobe Dean and everything else. NBA draft lottery is tonight. Guys, trending in the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions on all of this. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. Wherever you're watching, please do me the favor. Please hit that like button and that share button. It's free to do. Please subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page. Somehow, while I slept last night, I dropped from 520 to 519 subscribers. So please, let's build this algorithm today. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's all hit this like button. Let's all hit this share button. Let's all subscribe. The goal is 25 likes on this video, 25 shares on this video, and at a minimum, maybe 5 or 6 new subscribers. We got lots to talk about today. Lots to talk about today. As breaking news, not part of the agenda, but breaking news. The Eagles are opening up the NFL season on Thursday, September 4th versus the Dallas Cowboys. Not the Lions, not the Bears, not the Rams, the Dallas Cowboys. Not the Commanders, the Dallas Cowboys. The NFL is going to play heavily into that Eagles-Dallas rival. I'm kind of shocked that they are going in that path, that way. But it just means one key thing. The Eagles start the season 1-0. Yeah, that's right, Cowboys fans. I said it. You're already 0-1 on the season, and you don't even know it. So while I want to talk Phillies today, and, is it time to let our guard down and enjoy this Phillies season after a huge weekend in Cleveland? I would love to talk about it. Obviously, would love to talk about all the rumors circulating about Nakobe Dean. But when I wake up, or literally when I sit down here, get ready to hit go live, and I see breaking news, not from a rumored site, from the NFL site itself, Eagles, Cowboys, week 1, Thursday Night Football, we've got to talk about it. We've got to talk about it. It's like I'm ready to make my first prediction for game 1 already. I'm ready for Eagles, Cowboys, Thursday Night Football, September 4th. I can't wait. We'll be live streaming right here on the STT Sports Network. Thursday Night Football, Eagles, Cowboys. I'm just stoked knowing what the first game of the season is already, guys. Let's get into the comments. Week 1, yes, Peanut saying the same thing. Couldn't think of a better way. I was actually shocked because the NFL chooses normally to save those big division rival games for Sunday night, Monday Night Football later in the season. I went through the last 4 years, and none of them were division games. So I don't even know when the last time there was a division game to kick off the season. So it's kind of shocking that they're choosing the Cowboys. Good morning, Adam. Phillies World Series. That's right. I'm ready to let my guard down on this Philadelphia Phillies team. I still want more bullpen. I still need more bullpen. But, yes, I'm very, very, very ready to let my guard down and enjoy some Phillies baseball. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Dean will be fine. A lot of rumors that maybe we don't get Dean back this year. Obviously, a lot of talk with what's going on with Drake Jackson, edge linebacker from the 49ers, how he was cut. He had the injury in 2023, week 8, and he's still not back to health. That's why that keeps coming up in the conversation to Nakobe Dean this weekend. Happy Monday, Chet. Hope you had fun at the barbecue this weekend. Saw a lot of great pictures. Would have loved to have seen Octane one final time. And how about Kyle Schwarber? Yeah, Kyle Schwarber. Maybe the MVP of the National League right now. Definitely the MVP of the Phillies. That boy's going toe-to-toe with Aaron Judge in the home run race right now. Sepp Straka winning this weekend at the Truist Championship in Philadelphia. Absolutely. I believe Jason from Fairway to Heaven had an outright ticket of 45-1 on Sepp Straka. I did not. Fleetwood was my best. So, yeah, that didn't work out for me. Good morning, Rick. Hope you had a fantastic weekend like the Phillies did. I am ready to let my guard down for sure. Eagles, Cowboys were week one rivals for a number of years. Yeah, I don't mean about week one. I mean the kickoff game on Thursday Night Football came on. I'm shocked that they're using Eagles-Cowboys for – I mean, it's a ratings juggernaut no matter who you put on there. The first regular season football game is going to draw 20 to 30 million viewers no matter who it is. And you make it Eagles-Cowboys. I'm just kind of shocked. I'm excited. I'm excited to stomp a mud hole in the Dallas Cowboy fan base day one of the season. Ready for it. Excited for it. It was a good Phillies weekend. It was a great Phillies weekend. I know they lost Friday night pretty bad, and Aaron Nola didn't look his best. But you know what? This whole past week of Phillies baseball is me starting to let my guard down, which might bite me in the ass down the line. But I'm ready to let my guard down and watch more baseball and be more confident. It's just the bullpen. You go into the eighth inning with a 3-0 lead, and I don't feel confident. I don't. You see Corky Romano out there in the ninth, and he pitched a great ninth inning yesterday. But I wasn't ready for that. Adam says, Cowgirls going to the Super Bowl already, as they say. Yeah. I'm sure Cowboys fans think that they're 1-0 to start the season, just like us Eagles fans think we are. But at least we're coming off a Super Bowl victory with the best team in the NFL. I love, like, I wanted Eagles-Lions because of me and Jason on Fairway to Heaven. We could do battle week one. I wanted Eagles-Rams, thought that would be a good ratings battle. Everybody wanted the Bears because of Caleb Williams. Going the Cowboys is a very interesting choice by the NFL. The bullpen looked great yesterday, Rick. Absolutely. But one game doesn't erase a month of bad play. I mean, the fact that he had to go to Corky Romano in the ninth to save that game is a concern still to me. All right, there's no way you can feel confident when you see him coming out in the ninth inning. I didn't want Alvarado for a second inning either. And look, I give him credit. He pitched well yesterday, but you need more than one or two good games. I need to see a stretch of good bullpen, or let's get some actual arms in here. 45-10, Eagles. We got the first prediction of the NFL season. Adam says 45-10, Eagles win to kick off the season. I love it, Adam. I mean, it's not my official prediction, but sure, I'll go with it. Nice to see Marsh and Bone playing very well. Absolutely. Marsh has been very good since he returned from his injury list stint. Bone, I think, what did they did the numbers last night during the telecast. And one of his later at-bats, like he's like 20 of 62 or 22 of 60, something like that in his last like dozen or 2 dozen games. Alec Boehm's starting. He's not hitting for any power yet, Rick, but he's starting to make good, solid contact, starting to find some base hits and stuff like that. It's what you want to see. Phil, that report that said Eagles-Cowboys is from the NFL account itself tweeted it out this morning, literally minutes before the show. All right, I will find it. I'll find it. I'm going to confirm it, but give me a second. The official NFL site 26 minutes ago released it. So it's official now, according to the NFL account. Unless the NFL account got hacked, it's officially official. 5-1 road trip, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I was where I won at 6-0 the home series before, and we got 4-2. Or I won at 5-1 and we got 4-2. I won at 4-2 this week and we got 5-1. So it's very good. And we got a very tough series here at home starting tonight against the Cardinals. Look, literally the only thing I'm worried about right now is our bullpen, Rick. I mean, our starting pitching fire ranger, Suarez on Saturday night, looked fantastic. Everything's clicking for the Phillies. Just need some bullpen stuff. It's May. It's baseball. Get a grip. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Eagles win by double digits on opening night. We've already got you. You didn't get the first prediction in, Rick. Adam got the first prediction of the season, 45-10 in on week one. I love it. But you can't. I'm not gonna get excited about Corky Romano having one dominant outing. Eagles Dallas. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, it literally broke 15 minutes before the show started. Didn't have time to change the title. Didn't have time to change anything. But yeah, here we are. Eagles, Cowboys. week one of the NFL season. Something about that is so exciting. Like, obviously, beating the Cowboys opening night would be great. The other thing is how devastated Eagles Nation would be if we lost, so to speak, week one. Like, this is a world's falling apart game for either the Cowboys or the Eagles fan base. Whoever loses that game, the city is going to burn down on Friday morning. It's kind of crazy, Big Al. It's a very, very bold choice from the NFL to use up Eagles Cowboys the first game of the year. Wait, how did Phil lose a subscriber? I don't know how it happened overnight. We went from 520 to 519. So, guys, everybody watching right now, if you haven't already, you should have subscribed already. Please like and share as well. I don't know what's going on in the world. It's lose-lose for Dallas. Yeah, they can either lose the game and the world's falling apart, or they can win the game and think they're going to win the Super Bowl even though they're not. Bohm did his first home run, 25. Yeah, 25 more to come ain't happening, right? I'll lay a bet on that without a doubt. But, yeah, he did get his first home run in the minor league park last week. Oh, I missed that. I saw that one too, and I didn't believe it. But then literally it was about 15 minutes before the show went live, Anthony. The NFL Twitter account posted it, which is great. So, yeah. And, doesn't matter if the NFL site posted it, as long as Adam Schefter posted it. That means it's true right now. The NFL site officially posted it, so it's officially official. Eagles, Cowboys, week one. They lose, which they will. They start off crushed, and if they win, it's the first game of the season and meaningless. Yeah, exactly, Big Al. At least we can, set the pace in the NFC East from day one. We could be in first place. We can literally go wire to wire in first place by winning week one against the Cowboys. And then just leading the division the entire season. You got to love it. Still don't like talking to the playoffs while they're playing on the field. That's ESP. Still don't like talking to the yeah. The in-game player interviews while they're on the field playing. Not a fan, Adam. Was it Stott last night? Was interviewed while he was on the field. Never been a fan of it, Adam. Never have. Never will. Seems like an unnecessary distraction. Do the Phillies deserve a little bit more respect yet? Absolutely they do. It's literally the bullpen, and that's it, Big Al. I'm ready. I'm letting my guard down. I'm back to enjoying baseball. After a 5-1 road trip against some good baseball teams, I'm ready. Taking care of business against Cleveland this weekend. I'm ready. Kyle Schwarber, league MVP. Good morning, Joe. How you doing? Big day in Philly. Phillies are hot. Eagles news. And the NBA draft lottery tonight. I thought it was, for some reason, I saw a tweet about it being tonight. I really thought it was tomorrow night. I was going to go live tomorrow night for it, but thought it was tomorrow night. It's tonight. Can't go live for tonight. But at least we know what we're talking about tomorrow, Joe. Will the Philly or Sixers get to keep their pick? We'll find out at 7 o'clock tonight. Oh, man. It's a big week in Philly sports. Cowboys Cowboys will an afterthought by week 8. Will be an afterthought. Absolutely. They're going to be an afterthought after week 1. After we stomp them. Last year, we beat them a combined 75-13 in the two matchups last year. 75-13. But Cowboys fans are going to be all over Twitter today. Guarantee it. We're going to beat those Eagles week 1. Good morning. Good morning, Little G. Yes. Kick Cowboys' butt. Love it. NBA probably rigs tonight's lottery so the Sixers don't get their first round pick. And if that's the case, we'll definitely be talking about the NBA lottery being rigged tomorrow morning. For sure. The Cowboys had 2.5 more months to rest and recover. Let that sit. I love that. I love that, Big Al. Love that comment right there. I bet Michael Irvin is sweating and getting worked up already over that announcement. Screw that guy. Who cares about Michael Irvin? Phillies have deserved more respect from this show all season. Y'all have absolutely buried and bashed this team since game 1. Dude, Rick, I think you got to take the goggles off a little bit. There's been no bashing. Nobody has said this team sucks. Nobody has said anything. Get rid of this team. Blah, blah, blah. We have not bashed and buried. We've criticized and discussed. Big difference, okay? Big difference between being discussing and criticizing the shortcomings of a team versus just putting on rosy-colored glasses and saying, don't matter, whatever, World Series champion. That's all. That's all. I think we're allowed to discuss openly. Kenny Pickett was the starting quarterback for that second Dallas game. Ah! Oh, man. I kind of forgot about that. K1. I wrote down the 2 scores last week, and yeah. Dude, you have bashed them all year. There's been literally zero bashing when I've said countless times that they're going to win 92 to 95 games this year. I just said, do they have enough to win in October? That's all I've said. You don't like it when I disagree with your opinion. Phillies finally beat a good team, so that was nice. Until they show they can play against top teams like the Mets, I won't believe in them. Well, Anthony, I'm starting to believe in them, Anthony. I think outside their bullpen, they have proven now over a quarter of the season. We're a quarter of the way through now, right? Yeah. That was 40 games into the season, so we're basically at the quarter mark. 40 games is a good point to start judging a baseball team. It's not a 2-week or 2-day sample size. We're talking a quarter of the season. I think that's a good sample size. Their bullpen still needs major help. Still questioning what to do with center field, but Marsh is getting hot again, so we'll see. Rojas is, I don't know what to do with Rojas. Like, at one side, I want to say that he's okay, and on the other side, I don't know. Criticize and discuss sounds like what my wife does, yeah. I like that, Peanut. You don't like it when I disagree with your opinion. No, I just disagree. Your opinions are like outlandish. Like just blindly saying Tanner McKee would win a Super Bowl or blindly saying the Phillies would win the World Series when the facts say otherwise. But then instead of just saying, I don't bash you for your opinion. I disagree with your opinion. You bash that I have an opinion and you exaggerate my opinion. The Guardians are nowhere near the team they were last year. Place is garbage. Their pitching staff is not doing as well as last year. Yeah, I mean, look, they're still a talented baseball team. Maybe this is the first time I've watched them all year this weekend, and I watched probably about 90% of the 3 games this weekend. Maybe they're not as good as last year. But we still won them. They're still above, I think, 3 of our last 5 or 5 of our last 8. I forget what it was. A very high percentage of our series wins, these last couple series wins, have been against teams with above 500 records. But yeah. Oh, my God, Rick. Stop. This series against the Cardinals will be a good test. One of the hottest teams over the last 10 games. Absolutely. The Phillies are one of the hottest teams over the last 10 games as well. So it is going to be a very good series. It's going to be a big test. I know we've got Luzardo going tonight. Oops, wrong button there. I'm trying to see what the pitching matchups are on MLB, not Philly's schedule. We got Suarez, or we got Sanchez tonight, Luzardo and Nola in the day game on Wednesday. So Sanchez, Luzardo, and Nola in this series. Guardians had same record as Phillies going to the series. Were lights out going into the series. And their starting pitching was lights out in game 1. Obviously, we struggled, to hit the ball in game 1. Honestly, we struggled to hit the ball outside of Kyle Schwarber last night as well. Luckily, Zach Wheeler is undoubtedly I struggle, Rick, to put into words how great Zach Wheeler is, but doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Like, he gets great credit for being a great pitcher. But Zach Wheeler, arguably, pitch by pitch, game by game, I mean, you got to go back to Steve Carlton, in my opinion, to find a pitcher that pitches consistently the way Zach Wheeler does in Philadelphia. I mean, I know everybody loves Roy Halladay, and those 2 years in Philly, 9 and 10, were amazing. But we're going on, what, year 4 or 5 with Zach Wheeler here? Like, Zach Wheeler is the best Phillies pitcher since Steve Carlton. Like, I feel crazy saying it, but then I don't feel crazy saying it. Literally may be the best pitcher since Steve Carlton in Philadelphia, starting pitching one. He really might be. He's that damn good. Like, nothing rattles this guy. Nothing. He's just stone cold killer out there. Doesn't show any emotion. And he's so good and so consistent. Now, I don't know how much longer it is. I think they were talking last night on the broadcast about how he might have said, and I missed this, that this is his last contract, or it might be his end of his career, this current contract. But, like, has there been a pitcher as consistent as him over how many years? We just expect the Phillies to lose road games. Well, they won quite a few road games this past week. Phil, what is the thinking giving us that underwhelming opening game? I can't imagine people outside of here in Dallas care about it. Well, see, the thing is, Barb, maybe that's why they did it, actually. Because opening week, that first Thursday night game, they don't want to blow their best matchups. They want to save Eagles-Lions for Sunday Night Football, or Eagles, Bears for a big Monday Night Football matchup. Eagles-Dallas is the first game of the season, Barb, is going to do ratings no matter who it is. I think it averages like 25 million views a year. So they don't worry about it. It's the first meaningful game, so everybody tunes in. And you got the hated Eagles, Cowboys, two huge fan bases all over the country. You got a great team, your defending Super Bowl champion, going up against a team they beat 75-13 combined last year. One of those games with Kenny Pickett. Like, it's one of those things where maybe that they just chose the most average matchup out of the options. They didn't want to waste one of the two Commanders games. I'm as shocked as you are, Barb, but it's just one of those things that maybe there's a theory behind it. Good morning, Judd. Hope you're doing good today, my man. All but 5 Guardian pitchers have a whip of 1.2 and over. Get a grip. Wheeler's from the Mets, Holiday from Toronto, neither from Philly. Yeah, no, I know. I don't. What did I say? Did I say something that made that comment? I'm just saying that he's, one of the best Phillies pitchers since Steve Carlton. Phillies outscored their opponents 80-49 in their last 14 games total. Hitting coach deserves some credit. I don't know what is different, Rick, over those last 14 games. But, I mean, you've got not just Alec Boehm turning his season around, making much better contact. Brandon Marsh coming back from the injured list, turning his season around. But even somebody like Trey Turner, and I know, hold on, let me pull last night's box score up. I don't want to misquote this here. No, yeah, he was 0 for last night. So his consecutive 2-hit game streak ended last night. He had like 6 games in a row with 2 hits. Going into last night, like even Trey Turner, he's just getting base hit after base hit after base hit right now. Even Bryce Harper, to an extent, I know he was 0 for last night, has broken out of his slump, so to speak, a little bit. So yeah, I'll give. I don't know if it's Kevin Long or not, but I'll give him credit. I mean, the offense has been humming along beautifully for 2 weeks. Well, 14 games, not 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So if he's doing something to change their approach at the plate, good for them. Good for him. It's about time. The Mets can only wonder what could have been with Zach Wheeler. That is true. Zach Wheeler's 100 times better than Cliff Lee in Phillies history. I love Cliff Lee just like the next Anthony. But Zach Wheeler's big picture, overall dominance in Phillies red pinstripes, literally is the best pitcher since Steve Carlton in Philadelphia. I'm writing that down. That right there. The Eagles-Dallas is the biggest hit for Sunday Night Football history. They're going to break the NFL opener record. The Cowboys will be mediocre by the end of the season. They are grabbing the ratings before it happens. That really might be what it is. It really is. It kind of plays off of what Barb kind of said a little bit too. I really think that they're going to try to capitalize on what would have been a very average matchup. Week 8, Week 10, Week 14. Let's grab that right from Week 1 when Cowboys fans actually still think they had a chance. NFC East gets the best ratings out of any division every year. Eagles-Cowboys is always in prime time. Yeah, it's a huge ratings hit, but it's a bigger ratings hit when both teams have a chance versus just one team. So, yeah, subpar choice of opening game for the Birds, very bad. I like it. Well, I shouldn't say I like it. I'm surprised by it. I just think it's I'm surprised they're saving the bigger games. Steve Carlton, 7 years with the Cardinals before he came here. Phillies have always have very great pitchers from their own system. Same. Yeah, I mean, I know he's not from our system or anything. I'm saying he's just as dominant as anybody has been in Philadelphia as a pitcher since Steve Carlton. Plain and simple. I don't really, Barb, I'm not one to really make as big of a deal as others about homegrown players in baseball. Now, it matters big time in football with the salary cap. But in baseball, I don't really care if they come up through our system or if we get them in a trade or, in the Rule 5 draft or whatever it may be. Like, it really doesn't bother me where the players come from as long as they perform well when they're here. I think the homegrown talent idea or theory is an overblown topic in baseball. Barb, no, you're not. I mean, Adam was the first one to put a prediction out there. He did immediately. As soon as I brought it up in the opening minutes of the show, Adam already predicted Eagles win 45-10 on week 1. I didn't know the NFC East had the best ratings. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure it is. I mean, you've always got the Eagles, Cowboys, two big football fan bases. Games are always close. At least 2 or 3 teams are always competitive in the NFC East. So, yeah, I would put Zach Wheeler right around Curt Schilling as far as delivering for this franchise. That's the best. I knew someone was going to say Curt Schilling when I made that Zach Wheeler comment, Nooms. And I knew I needed to, as I was talking, in the back of my head, prepare an answer for this. I don't have the answer prepared. Schilling came up pretty damn big in the playoffs in 93. But he only had one playoff run with Philly. I will say some of those losing seasons the Phillies had, and then every 5th game when Schilling would start, you knew it was that one victory. I remember so many opening days with Schilling where we'd win or lose. We'd lose like 2-0 or 1-0 or 2-1 because our team was so bad, but Schilling did everything. I think Zach Wheeler, I'd have to go back and do the numbers, but I kind of just eye test, and maybe it's recency bias, but I would guess that if you did like a 3 or 4 year comparison, just pick any 3 or 4 years, say 22 through 25 or 22 through 24, and pick 92 through 94 for Schilling. I would think that Zach Wheeler's numbers are a little bit better. I just think so. Phil, you were good in Equalizer 2. Sorry, what happened to you and your team at the end? What? Spoiler alert, right? The Lions would have been the choice, probably. If you wanted the best 2 NFC teams to go up against each other, it would have been Eagles Lions or Eagles Commanders if you wanted to go division. But they're obviously saving them for middle of the season Sunday night football games. The Eagles are going to have a lot of Sunday night and Monday night football games. It's going to be another one of those years with very few 1 o'clock games for the Eagles. But the Eagles and Dallas are teams people love or love to hate. That's a very fair point as well. It is a little bit of that Howard Stern effect. Cole Hamels delivered better than the Phillies. That's a very fair point, Rick. I think that's a very, very, very. See, I can compliment you on your opinion sometimes. I mean, Cole Hamels was here longer than Schilling. Cole Hamels won a World Series. Schilling did not. I would still. I feel like icky saying this, Rick, but I kind of feel like Zach Wheeler's more dominant than Cole Hamels is. But maybe not. I don't know. I think that might be a little recency bias. But, I mean, when I go out there and I see Zach Wheeler pitch, when I watch it on my TV, like, I don't ever worry. Gives up 2 base runners, I don't worry. If he gives up a run, I don't worry about him getting rattled. Like, there's something in him. There's some kind of killer instinct in him that I love to watch when he's on the mound. I bet the Eagles will play on Black Friday or Christmas. I'm actually thinking, well, depends on what. Let me look at the calendar here real quick. What day of the week does? Oops, I hit calculator, not calendar. What day of the week does Christmas fall on this year? Christmas is a Thursday. Yeah, maybe they could get that sort of second Thursday night game of the year. Maybe I could see that. Maybe. Probably means we have a late bye week too. Then. I compliment you too, Phil. It's all what we do. We all have fun. It's all in good fun, Rick. I could see it. I saw a rumor about the about the Christmas thing floating around out there, putting one of the big Eagles matchups on Christmas Day, Eagles Lions, Eagles Commanders. I mean, it is late in the season, so division games are likely. So maybe an Eagles Commanders game on Christmas. Maybe that's a possibility, Barb. I hate the idea, but it's very possible. Dallas or Detroit on, yeah. Both Eagles Cowboys games on Thursday Night Football. Black Friday games are usually mid teams, yeah, for sure. Nola gets paid like a 1 or 2, but pitches like a 4 or 5. Yeah, I was really disappointed in him on Friday, obviously. Zach Wheeler is most likely the most dependable postseason pitcher in Phillies history. He might be the most dependable pitcher, period, in Phillies history, not just postseason. Eagles prime time on Thanksgiving. Well, then if that's the case, then they won't be playing on Christmas because they wouldn't get 3 Thursday night games. I'm just going to say this. I hate Thursday night. All right. I hate Thanksgiving games. I hate Christmas games. I don't like when my teams play on a holiday. I like to spend the holidays relaxing. Yes, sports is on holidays, but I don't want to have to get fired up over an Eagles game after turkey dinner or before turkey dinner. I don't want to get fired up with a Eagles game while I just finished Christmas dinner. Like, I just want to relax and have stupid, meaningless games on in the background. But when the Eagles are playing or the Sixers on Christmas Day, I'm kind of forced to be, I don't know. The words aren't right there, but you get what I'm saying. I don't like those situations. Man, did not think that this would be what we were having the conversation today. The NFL didn't do the Lions because the Lions have 2 new coordinators. Would have been a huge disappointment. That's a fair point. Do you think the NFL, Anthony, really thought about this? Do you think the NFL thought about that detailed? Or did the NFL just think about ratings and be like, look, we're saving the great games for middle of the season. We want a big ratings draw. And maybe the Cowboys might not be as great as we think this year, but beginning of the season, they'll draw ratings. I think that might have been the theory. I don't know if the new coordinators were definitely in their thought process, but maybe. Yeah, no. What I think he's saying is that he wants to give that the NFL didn't want to use Detroit because they want to save that because Detroit, we stumbled out of the block last year, 2-2 to start the season, and the NFL doesn't want to see Detroit, one of their shiny toys, stumble out of the blocks. That's I think just what he's getting at there. Anthony, Dallas had a new head coach, so that's true. It's true. Fair point, Barb. Fair point. Forgot about that. Schottenheimer the third or Schottenheimer the fourth or whoever he is. It's still very interesting and very cool that they're going Eagles Cowboys because whatever we break down of this opening game, it is one of, if not, like we always talk about F Dallas week. F Dallas week is literally the first week of the season. It's a great way to get excited right from the get-go. If you guys are saying it should have been Detroit, I'm surprised. And the reason why that they're going Dallas because they're worried that Dallas might not be good. That's the actual reason why I would have made an argument for the Bears because they love themselves some Caleb Williams. And maybe they're thinking would have meant that they should have had Caleb Williams on opening week while his hype was still there. Dallas will be fine this season, but they still won't sniff win the NFC. Yeah, I still got the Cowboys ballparked at around 9 wins this year. I think they'll be a little bit better than last year. Maybe if they stay healthy. Maybe not. We'll see. Somewhere between 8-9 wins this year for Dallas. Eagles had 2 coordinators, and they started our season on a different continent. That's a fair point. Rick, I'm just going to say this. Thank God we're not playing. Is there a Brazil game, or is there like I know there's one overseas game, but not week 1. Is there a week 1 not in the continental U.S. game this year? Is there a Brazil game? I know they talked about doing more Brazil games. There's no juice for play. Honestly, Barb, I mean, there's juice. It's still Eagles, Dallas. but Dallas has been so mediocre or bad for so long. I don't consider. I never considered Dallas my biggest rival. It's always been the Giants and the Commanders, and above the Cowboys because they're closer. But Dallas is still Dallas. They love to rub those 5 rings from 1947 when 1937, 1927 in our faces. So I think I hate the Dallas Cowboys fan base more than I hate the Dallas Cowboys themselves. NFC East, barring really bad luck or act of God, NFC East should be Commanders or us. It should be Eagles, Commanders, Giants. I would say ballpark. This is just ballparking. The Eagles around 11 or 12 wins, Commanders around 10 or 11, Cowboys 8 or 9, and the Giants right around 6 wins this season. So yeah, I'm going to give them a little bit more respect than that. I mean, they've got talent on the team. They're just poorly run. And they're not it's like they've got pieces of a puzzle, but none of them fit together. So I don't know if they're that bad. That would be a major step back for Dallas. I don't know. Absolutely, Phil. Eagles, Lions most likely would be battling for the 1 seed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brazil. Don't you miss me saying Brazil? Week 1, Ireland. They definitely play in Germany this year. I was pretty sure I saw that, but it's not week 1. I saw them already release the matchup for that game, I think, too. But I meant like week 1. It looks like the Chargers are getting opening week in Brazil. Okay, so they are playing in Brazil this year again. Okay. I don't think the league is worried at all about the Cowboys being disadvantaged. Cowboys will be lucky to win 8 games. I don't know. I think there's 8 to 9 wins worth of talent on that team. It's whether a rookie coach that is probably overmatched can hold them together, and if the injuries can hold back. Yeah, I mean, Dallas is just not good. It reminds me of people still hating on Montreal Canadiens. Yeah. Hey, I still got my ad read sheet right here. I use it as a mouse pad now, and jot notes down when I run out of room on my paper. Well, find me some sponsors. Get those sponsors lined up, and I'll do the ad reads all the time. Get me to the subscriber count where sponsors would want to be on here. That's why we all need to hit that like button. We all need to hit that share, and we all need to subscribe. Please go out and get everybody to subscribe, K1, and we'll get those. Get the subscriber up, and the ad reads can return. Can't wait to tune in tomorrow to Fairway to Heaven, see who you are picking for the PGA Championship. Most of my card, my long shots and mid shots, Joe, are already locked in for the PGA Championship. Okay. Now I've got my huge chunk of money for either 1 big home run swing or 2 mid swings. I'm looking at Bryson. I'm looking at Xander. I'm looking at those 2 names right now. And they would be big swings, big home runs, all in on one or the other. I'm not sure yet. But, guys, if you want, we do a DFS on DraftKings contest for golf. I got this week's contest link below. It's only $3 to enter. And you can see if you can build a better golf lineup this week than me. And if you build a better golf lineup than me, then you can come in the chat and laugh at me that you beat me. A guy that's a professional at this, you can laugh at me. So click the link down below on DraftKings and join our DFS contest. Dallas has talent for a 10-win season, but with JJ a new head coach, that's where I'm at with the Dallas Cowboys. The 1 seed isn't even that big of a deal either because last year the Eagles weren't the 1 seed. And so, yeah, well, I mean, how often does that happen? I don't honestly know. But I get it. You still want the 1 seed so that you don't have to hope that the 1 seed gets knocked out early. That would be like saying the Lions don't care about the 1 seed because the Eagles will lose early and the Lions will get the home game in the championship round. Yeah. Detroit, I think, should have won that game, and Detroit got, whatever. Golf gambling, the connoisseurs betting. It's the greatest roller coaster in golf betting and fantasy sports. Golf. It is. It really is. What is, I don't know. I don't know. Duck, that's my point. It always seems to work out. Eagles have been very healthy. That is true. And obviously the Eagles got to continue to be healthy. Obviously, the big Eagles topic this week or today was this week in reports. A lot of not reports because there's no reports on it. A lot of comments about Nakobe Dean and whether he'll play in 2025. And a lot of that's centered around the fact that the 49ers released edge rusher linebacker Drake Jackson, who had the same exact injury in week 8 of 2023. And now he's still not ready to play a year and a half later. And Nakobe Dean had his injury, what? Week 16, week 17 of the season? And some people want him to be ready for the start of the season. There's a legit chance that Nakobe Dean does not play a single snap for the Eagles this year. And are you concerned about the depth at linebacker if that's the case? Now, if Jahad Campbell's ready, and Rick will say he's not going to be ready, other people will say he is, we'll just wait till the Eagles make a statement on that. If Jahad Campbell's ready to go week 1, then I'm not worried about the linebacker position. But if Jahad Campbell can't go week 1, Cooper DeJean didn't play till week 4 or start till week 4. Trotter Jr. and Smile Mondon are the only other linebackers outside of Zach Bond. Are we worried? There ain't even any free agents out there right now. What's he got remorse over? Cooper DeJean is healthy, and so is Bond. I'm not worried about the defense. Oh, I'm not worried about the defense. I'm just asking. There's a lot of Eagles fans that are expecting a lot from Nakobe Dean coming off of an injury, which arguably is a career-threatening injury. Again, look at Drake Johnson. It's been a year and a half, and he's still not ready. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about it. This would have already been discussed today, Rick, if the schedule release of the Eagles-Cowboys Week 1 wasn't announced. Because here's the question, and I know you're going to hate this, and I already know what your answer is, Rick. If the New Orleans Saints called Howie Roseman and said, I will give you a second-round pick for Tanner McKee, would you take it? If the New Orleans Saints came calling and said, I will give you a third-round pick with a potential if it turns into a second based off of XYZ, would you accept it? If the Saints called and said, I will give you just a third-round pick, would you accept it? I would accept the first two options. I would consider the third option. Probably accept it. I know you wouldn't because you are in the belief that Tanner McKee is the next coming to Tom Brady, but that's not the case. Carter's healthy too. A majority of the Eagles defense is healthy. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell are the only ones really that I think have any injury issues at this point. I know you wouldn't accept it. Connoisseur of golf monetary, what? Yeah. What? Yeah, I'd bite on a second or a third for Tanner. I would bite on a second like that. A third, I'd be like, can you throw in something else? No, all right, I guess so. But here's the problem, though, and this is not, to support Rick's theory, because I don't think he's Tom Brady Jr., but the other part of the equation is behind Tanner McKee, all you got is DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and Kyle McCord. There are no good quality backup. Like, I looked at the free agent list. There is nothing left right now in free agency at quarterback. So if you trade Tanner McKee, that means you're rolling with DTR and Kyle McCord. And that's scary. It's why they should have traded Tanner McKee and kept Kenny Pickett already. But it's an option. It's something that's going to happen. I would have traded Tom Brady before he was Tom Brady for a third-round pick probably. Because you can't predict those kind of Drew Bledsoe injuries. You can't predict when that stuff's going to happen. Hell yes, McKeesters. We have Kyle McCord. We might go from the McKeesters to the McCordsters. Can we call them the McCordsters? I mean, it's still got the Mick in it. McCordsters. The McKeesters could just become the McCordsters, right? McCordsters. McCordsters. Right, there we go. Only a foolish team would offer more than I agree. But remember, what was the trade we got for Sam Bradford because of the injury in Minnesota? I mean, we got a second-round pick for Carson Wentz. That's another topic right there. That's one of the other options at backup quarterback right now. That's a free agent. Let his story come full circle. A foolish team would. And there are foolish teams, and teams do overpay for quarterbacks. And if I'm Howie, I'm playing into that. You're desperate for a quarterback. Right now, it's Tyler Shuck, the rookie, It's Spencer Rattler. I mean, like, their quarterback room's pretty dreadful. Nola calls for McKee, offers a second, hell yeah. 2/3, hell yeah. Third plus a 4, yes. Anything else is no, I don't think so. Third and a fourth definitely does. I think I would accept those offers, sure. I think if they did, it would be something like a third with a contingency that it could become a second if he played X amount of games or threw X amount of yards, whatever it may be, Doc. And I would accept that. I can't even say it out loud. Agreed, but if they want to overpay, yeah, I mean, look, I just look back at the Sam Bradford deal. I don't even remember the exact details of it, but that was like 2 weeks into the preseason games, and anything's possible when it comes to quarterback. Anything is possible. We do love our backup quarterbacks in Philly, Adam. I mean, never content with what we got. Always want the backup. Yeah, that would be a very, very fair deal, I think, for us. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm pronouncing it how you guys told me to pronounce it. Now, you guys might be on a side screen altogether. Look at Phil pronouncing it how we told him. That sucker. I mean, that might be what's going on, K1. But you guys told me it's pronounced Shuck, so I'm going to pronounce it Shuck. McKee is a legit NFL quarterback. Kyle McCord is a big project. Absolutely. And DTR ain't no good either. So if you do trade Tanner McKee and Jalen Hurts is to miss a game or two, you have a really shitty quarterback room. So who's going to be that backup quarterback? DTR is a third string. Kyle McCord's a practice squatter at this point. So who becomes your second string quarterback? Carson Wentz? I mean, really, there is nobody out there in free agency right now. McCord looks good so far in minicamp. He was literally the only quarterback in minicamp, though. There are a number of fools out there. That's all. You just need one quarterback desperate team to want to make that kind of a deal. Meanwhile, McCord led the nation in passing and had an 85% win clip in college. He does need time. I mean, he played at Syracuse. What kind of talent was he playing against? There's been several quarterbacks in the NFL history that have started over 200 games in a row. So it is too much to ask Hurts to play a full season. How many of those quarterbacks in NFL history are playing right now? Like, quarterbacks miss time. That's just part of it. Look, I would love him to play every game outside of like week 18 benching because we've already got the number 1 seat locked up. But it's just something that we have to be prepared for, especially with his nature of playing. It is pronounced Shuck. Okay, he said it. Okay. Then why don't you spell it like that? Why do you have to spell names not the way they sound? If Hurts gets injured, Eagles still win the Super Bowl. Well, the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. So that's that. Guys, you're watching Trend in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. If you haven't already, like there. We got 14 people right now in the YouTube room. Means there should be 14 likes on this video. Please share. Please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate each and every one of them. There is one other Eagles thing, and I joked about Carson Wentz a second ago, but there's a reason why I joked about it. Not because I wanted him to come in here. The Eagles got about $25 million in cap space right now based off of Spot Track. The Carolina Panthers this weekend cut Jadeveon Clowney. We are deep in depth, but not proven depth on the edge. Would you be interested in a 1-year deal for Jadeveon Clowney to ring chase here in Philadelphia? And one side of my brain says, dude, that would make our defense so much more stout. On the other side of my brain, he's the one that pretty much ended Carson Wentz's career as a viable starter. And I feel icky about the dirty hit he laid on Carson. And I'm still technically not over that. And he's one of those dirty players that we hate. But once they put on an Eagles uniform, we would probably love. Would you be interested in the Eagles? Now, I know they have about $25 million in cap space. They want to roll over as much of that as they can into next year. Would you give Jadeveon Clowney $10 or $12 million, which he probably would get more than that? Would you do that to let him chase a ring? Maybe. P.T. Barium, there is a fool born every minute. Yep. Donald Pumphrey led the NCAA. That's true. That is true. After week 1 of the season last year, seeing Barkley run, I knew in my heart, yeah, absolutely agree. Ask Vic about who he wants on his defense. That is true. Now, and I agree with that. I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney would fit the Fangio style because Clowney ain't going to drop back into coverage. It's just something that I see a lot. I bring up the topics I see Eagles fans talking about on social media. That's what I do. And I never even really thought about it from a Vic Fangio perspective, Barb. And I think it's a very fair question. Would Clowney even fit Fangio? Or is Clowney one of those guys, Barb, that Fangio would have to figure out because he's that it's like, do you fit his system, or does the system have to fit him in because he's that talented of a player? But also, he's a dirty-ass player, plain and simple. Pump was quite a reach. I wanted Jeremy McNichols that year, same Commanders who fumbled. And, yeah, like I don't even remember that year. I remember Pumphrey's being is Pumphrey's even in football? I have a feeling he's not. My guess would be Pumphrey's would be in the UFL at this point, if he's even playing anymore. I don't even know the answer to that question. Don't even care enough to look it up. But that was a pretty bad. Wasn't he also really, really, really small, like the smallest guy drafted that year or something like that? Like, he was super, super small in stature. But Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, it's an option. It's an idea out there. Phil, the NBA lottery is tonight, and Morey swears the Sixers will win the championship. You know, it's funny because obviously Daryl Morey, we talked about his dumbass, idiotic comments on Friday on this show. But one thing he said and then countered this weekend, and he said, we are going to get younger in our rotation. We are going to be younger and healthier and more athletic. And then this weekend says, I fully expect Andre Drummond, Kelly Oubre, and Eric Gordon all to pick up their options and be back, and we want them back. So do they want to get younger, or do they want their old, injured, sucky-ass players to return? We are literally going to basically run the team back next year with a top 6 pick, if we get it. That is literally the offseason. Literally the exact same team, hoping that they're healthy with a top draft pick. That's it. Daryl Morey's only move this offseason is a top 6 pick, if we get it. And everything else is just run it back. And if that's the case, Barb, I guarantee you I'll be watching very little Sixers basketball. Unless we get Cooper Flag, which is very unlikely. I won't be watching much basketball next year. We would have hated John Runyon if he played anywhere else. That's true. And I get that. And I just don't know. And Clowney knocked out Carson Wentz, and I'm not over it. But if he doesn't knock out Carson Wentz, we never get the Jalen Hurts era. So all things happen for a reason. But I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about Jadeveon Clowney in that Eagles jersey. Uncle Vic might now want him on the defense. He has a very specific personality type for guys. He likes young men to mold into NFL players. I agree. But Clowney is one of the top 3 edge rushers in football. I am thankful to Clowney for saving us from Wentz, but no, I would not want him. I feel icky because I was a huge Wentz guy, Anthony. I really was. But also, Clowney ushered in the Hurts era. He's a dirty player. But also, he'd be dominant on the Eagles. Are you implying ex-Congressman John Runyon played dirty? Pump never made it. Never made it. Okay, gotcha. He definitely played after the whistle. Yeah. As I can tell, only when he went against Strahan. Okay. Wasn't prepared for a John Runyon. Is he still in Congress? Is Runyon still in politics? Or maybe he just ramped it up when he played Strahan. I don't know. I'm just curious about this whole Jadeveon Clowney thing. I really am. Anyway, guys, it's the top of the hour almost here. Clowney was the reason Wentz went to crap. I think Wentz would have gotten a Super Bowl if not injured. I really think Eagles history would have played out differently. Maybe we don't lose in 22. Hold on, how I say it. Maybe 2020 isn't as bad. And then 2021, maybe we get back to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know how the Eagles history story turns out if Clowney. Maybe we make a deep run in 2019. I mean, that 2019 team Carson Wentz was carrying it on his back. Remember that 2019 late in the season in December? It was a Sunday night or Monday night football game against the Giants. I went to it. And it was raining, icy, super cold. And that was the Greg Ward, Boston Scott, where he carried that team back from the brink of disaster. So maybe if he doesn't get hurt, we beat the Saints or Seahawks in that game. And then who knows? Who knows what happens in 2019? So it's like I'm very torn on Clowney. Very, very, very torn on Clowney. Plus, we got about 20. I think it listed Spot Track $25 million in cap space, but we don't have all our rookies signed, so that number will come down. I'm guessing it's about $20 million in cap space. I think you could roll over 10 or 15 million to next year, which they'll do, which means we only got about $5 or $10 million in cap space left anyway. So Clowney wouldn't be a realistic option anyway. 76ers' only chance is to win big, is to win the flag lottery, then trade him and Embiid. Wow. See now. Wow. Hold on a second here, Barb. You're gonna get Flag and then trade Flag and Embiid for Giannis. Now, if we don't get Flag, and you're talking like the 4th or 5th pick, sure. I don't know if I'm trading Flag. Flag's the best prospect the last couple of years coming out of college. I don't know if I'm getting rid of Flag. You could build the franchise around him, Maxey, and McCain. But I'm fine talking about trading Embiid. Definitely talking trading Paul George. But according to Mr. Daryl Morey, they're running it back. They fully expect the big three to return. No, Runyon was a one-term congressman. He didn't run again because he couldn't affect change quickly as a freshman. Gotcha. Runyon was my district's congressman. He served 2 terms and left politics. 14, I believe, was his last year. Gotcha. You don't hear much from him. Like, I don't see him like on talk shows talking football. I don't see him on the politics circuit anymore. Don't even know what's going on with Runyon. I'm assuming he still lives in Jersey. Pumphrey is a running backs coach at California's. Look at that. Adam always doing the deep dive for the chat. Love it. Running backs coach at California State University. What's up, Jim? If you guys need a realtor, check out my man Jim right here. The best realtor in the world. Eagles by 2 touchdowns. Sorry, you're like the 4th prediction already for week 1, Jim. Adam's got the record. He predicted the first score, 45-10, to kick off the show. Love it. I think Wentz's knee was already damaged to the point it would have been tough for him to win much. Maybe going long term. Agreed. But maybe in 2019, they could have made a deep run if he doesn't get knocked out of that game. Then you're stuck with, I know. I'm ready. Look, I'm ready to move on from Embiid. And I get what you're doing by using Cooper Flag to get rid of him in that theoretical situation, Barb. And look, would I like it? No. Would I be okay with it? Yes, I would. I don't like the idea, but I would accept the idea. Because I know getting off of Embiid, the Joel Embiid contract is probably the worst contract currently in Philadelphia sports at this moment. Not in the past. Like at this moment, all the contracts of the Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, the Embiid contract is the worst. And it's going to hold this team back for a very long time. And the Paul George contract is no better, but at least Paul George is a little bit better of a contract because I think there's still a trade market for Paul George. Phil, Barb's plan is really a good short-term solution to make a run. Maybe. Morning, Steven. Hope you had a great time. I loved all the videos from the Truist Championship. Sorry your boy Lowry did not win, though. Enough of bringing old guys in. The starting lineup would be over 30. Look what OKC has done. Barb's plan is to maybe win next year. And Barb's plan get you off of that horrendous Joel Embiid contract. And that's the point. The point is to try to get off of Joel's contract. However you can. Now, Morey wouldn't do it. Morey, Josh Harris, and Joel Embiid all would have to sign off on it, which would be very hard to sell that to all 3 people. It's not going to happen. I like Barbara's creative, risk-taking move there. Her idea to try something, but I don't love the idea of if you got lucky and got Cooper Flag to move on from that. And that what is it, 10% chance that we get Cooper Flag? But I get it. It would be a tough pill to swallow, but it's a pill I would accept because of the end result. That Joel Embiid contract very well is the worst contract in sports right now. Runyon is living the life on his farm out in the sticks. Good for him. Good for him. Wonder if Paul George will still have his podcast again next year. I don't know, Adam. Look, I'd make the case that you need to move on from Paul George and Joel Embiid this offseason and sort of refresh. But Daryl Morey don't sound like a guy that's willing to do that. Daryl Morey is hoping that we keep our pick, and he's going to get the top 5 or 6 pick, and he's going to sell Sixers Nation that Joel Embiid will be fine, that Paul George will be fine, with Maxey and McCain coming back. Those 4 and a top 5 pick is all you need, and the Sixers are right back in. Now, I will say, it wouldn't be hard for the Sixers, if theoretically everybody was healthy, to have be a top 5 team again next year. If Embiid played 65 games, if Paul George played 70 games. I mean, you look at the Eastern Conference in the playoffs right now. You look at what the Knicks and Celtics are doing. They're the 2 best teams in the conference. The Bucks have fallen apart, are falling apart. The Cavs are exactly what we thought. Donovan Mitchell's a good player, but not an elite franchise player. The Pacers are a really good team, but whatever. Like, it's very easy for the Sixers, if everybody was healthy, throw in a top 5 pick. Yeah, in theory, you could make a run at top 5, but you're banking on top 5 in the Eastern Conference. You're banking on everybody being healthy, which you just can't. What's up, Zach? Hope you're doing well this morning. What pick do I think we'll get? Conspiracy theorist Phil says none. Will fall to 7th. Non-conspiracy theorist Phil says we're going to end up with the number 4 pick. So it's going to be number 4 pick, which I don't know who that means we'll get, but I'm going to predict we get number 4. That's what I'm going to predict. And Daryl Morey's going to be jumping up and down with that. Jared McCain will be tick-tocking with that. The Sixers are such a pathetic franchise that they haven't had a winning season without Embiid. I hope T-Wolves win the championship or at least get to the finals. I like their team. Before the season started, Barb, on this show, I said that Anthony Edwards was going to have a huge coming out party this year with Karl-Anthony Towns not being on the team anymore. Their regular season was a little up and down, but I'm a huge Anthony Edwards fan, and I think the sky's the limit for that guy. Yeah, but I think it's more likely OKC. I would love OKC. I'm a big I think the Western Conference with SGA and Ant is in good hands for the next, decade. So we'll see how that all plays out. But that would be fun. I do love watching Anthony Edwards play basketball. The gatekeeper of the Philluminati is here. They absolutely are pathetic. I say 3rd pick, especially if it's 2 players. There's only 2 good players, so we'll get the 3rd pick. Yeah. See, if it is if the NBA lottery is as rigged as we joke it is, the NBA doesn't want to face the wrath of Philly fans saying it's rigged. So what they'll do is they'll let us keep the pick, but make it the 5th pick or the 6th pick. If it wasn't rigged, maybe we'd have a chance. But they don't want to hear us complaining all offseason how the NBA screwed Philadelphia again. They already screwed us over how many times? So maybe that works out in our favor. I don't know. SGA is the only MVP who I wouldn't know his face. There's a couple guys I wouldn't recognize if they. I always think about that, Barb. As a pizza shop guy, and I get a lot of random people walking in for pizza, even just slices and stuff. If X person or X personality walked in, would I recognize him? Yeah, SGA, I wouldn't recognize him. I might recognize Anthony Edwards. I'm just trying to think of, outside of the big names, the LeBron James, the Giannis Antetokounmpos of the world, the Joel Embiids of the world. How many superstars would I recognize if they walked into my establishment? Now, Kennett Square actually used to be a big Phillies haven region. Now, not anymore. Schilling, Brett Myers, Darren Dalton, all guys that lived in the Westchester, Kennett area at some point. in their playing careers in Philly. Now it's not as much. But I wonder how many non-Philadelphia athletes could walk into my business and I would recognize it. I don't know if the number's that high, Barb, honestly. Harper playing to your expectation because he's not to mine. Harper is starting to turn the corner, Zach. Harper has definitely struggled to start the season. Look, I bet him to win MVP this year. He's not on an MVP pace right now, but he's getting there. He's about to turn that corner. He's a little too aggressive at the plate. He's not really, he's just up there hacking and not really trying to figure out what's coming at him. He's not taking enough pitches, but he's turning the corner, Zach. And if there's any player in Philadelphia sports, period, right now, that would struggle, that I wouldn't be concerned about being capable of turning it around, Bryce Harper's that guy. I fully expect that he's not playing to his levels right now, but I fully expect him to be able to turn it around, no problem, very soon. And he's already starting to turn that corner. Game 1, night 1, player parlay. Barkley, 75+, Lamb, 6+, Hurts anytime touchdown. Love it. You know what? I'm writing this down. I doubt I can make this bet yet, but I'm going to look into it. Barkley, 75+, CD, 6+, Hurts, anytime TD. If I can place that bet after the show, Joe, I am going to. Just so you know, if I can. But I doubt they got that up yet. So you're not tired of him no more. It's not that I'm not tired. I've never been tired of Bryce Harper. I just think he's got his struggles are, I don't want to say acceptable because they're not acceptable. Harper's struggles are fixable. Harper's Nationals years are better than his years with us. Just look at his 2 MVP years. The one in Washington is better. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a interesting conversation down the line, maybe not today, about Bryce Harper's legacy. Bryce Harper's a great baseball player. Bryce Harper's probably a Hall of Fame baseball player at some point. Maybe. But Bryce Harper, for all the pump, until he wins a World Series, I think you could question his legacy maybe. But I'm not ready to have that conversation yet. I'm not even sure what my mind would fall on in that conversation. I just don't know. But I don't expect him to be hitting 237 for much longer this season. Like Rick had joked that I think he believed it, that Alec Bohm will still hit 25 home runs this season. That's not going to happen. Bryce Harper will still hit more than 25 home runs this season. When I predict D-Rose to Bulls, LeBron to Cavs, Anthony Davis to Pelicans, as well as winning a bet with LeBron was going to come back versus Warriors 1-3. NBA rigged is no longer conspiracy. Gotcha. It was there, and I got your super chat, and I got Rick or Big Al's super chat. But there was an error in the setup of my Google account or my account to get paid. So I had to deactivate it. It takes a few weeks to fix everything. It'll be back in, I think it's about 2 more weeks. But whatever. Still, just hit that like button, mister. Hit that share button, hit subscribe. That's all we need to do. We need those things. Because the super chats are nice. The Google ads are nice. The big thing is getting the numbers up. So then I can get ad reads back for you guys. Why does Harper have a headband that says, I'm the showman? I wouldn't even know. I didn't even know that's what his headband says. Yeah, bring that back, right? Guys, we're an hour and 10 minutes in, but we're talking Phillies. Are you rehooked on the Phillies is the question. Are you rehooked? We're up to 19 likes on this video today. Good job. Not to 25. I wanted 25 likes today. I mean, that would be very appreciative if we got to 20 likes or 25 likes today. We'd love a few more subscribers today as well. But we're talking Phillies. Are you ready to let your guard down on the Phillies? That's the big question. Obviously, Eagles, Nakobe Dean. Are you okay at linebacker if Nakobe Dean misses the season? Question 3. Would you trade Tanner McKee to the Saints if they came calling? And for what? Question 4. Jadeveon Clowney. Would you accept him in Philly? And, of course, comment 5 of the day. Breaking news this morning. Eagles kick off the season September 4th, Thursday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. There are your topics of the day. Balling on Monopoly money. Yeah, always, always. What's up? Yes. Can you set up a date with Pat Farrell? Did the Phillies make a trade? What I missed? What did the Phillies make a trade? Did they? Is there something new? No. Just good. Good too. The Phillies have just had a very good 2 weeks. Harper's been at 237 twice before at this time of the year. Yeah, he's the only. Finally starting to get his back. I mean, I guess that could be the hopefully not end of it, Nooms. My guess is that he's fine. Is there an athlete? I'm not talking about winning the World Series or anything like that. Is there an athlete in Philly, if they were in a slump like Bryce Harper's been to start this season, that you'd have less confidence in turning around as Bryce Harper? So I have all the confidence. By the end of the season, Bryce Harper will be hitting 280, something like that. He'll have a good average. He'll have 30 home runs. He'll have 90 RBIs. I have no worries about Bryce Harper unless his back's starting to give out or something. Money is no object when it comes to the leader of the Philluminati. I am the Philluminati. That is correct. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. You're all going to have to get branded with the Philluminati logo, okay? If you want to be part of the Philluminati, you got to take the brand. But once you're in the family, there's no leaving the family, okay? And once you're in the family, everybody will protect everyone in the family. Can we get the Emirates deal with a 747? Do we, as members of the Philluminati, have that kind of pull? No, we don't have that kind of pull. We don't even have the pull to get a crop duster. I'm thinking of making a Philluminati logo. I just don't have a lot of free time right now. I got a very busy last couple of weeks and a very busy next couple of weeks. Phillies 9-3-1 in series so far this season. And Rick, I know you'll know this. Answer the question. I said it earlier in the show. Maybe you weren't there. Is it 3 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 7 series wins were against teams with better than 500 records as well? Which we're not just beating up the teams we should beat. We're beating up the other teams on the same level or better than the Phillies record-wise, which says something. So the Phillies aren't just winning games they should win. They're winning all the games that they should, that are faced in front of them. Phillies need a left fielder and a center fielder. I would prioritize center field or left field over, like, I would just say we need a outfielder. If you get one really good outfielder, center fielder or left fielder, if it's center fielder, then Kepler stays in left. If it's a left fielder, move Kepler to center field. I'd feel better. Third base, I'm torn on. Alec Bohm is starting to turn a corner. I think Alec Bohm, you can't really trade him because his value's too low. You can't demote him either. I don't think he has any options left. So you're kind of stuck at third base right now. But I think there's a pivot in left to center field that can be made. A slice of pizza and a sickle. We get a first or second for Tanner? Yeah. Sorry. I agree with you. A pizza slice instead of a pyramid? I don't know. Won't be on the trade block for anything. Phillies 6, Cardinals 4 is your prediction for tonight. Christopher Sanchez going up against the Cardinals. I forget who the pitcher is for the Cardinals tonight, but I do remember looking at like a .95 whip coming into tonight. There it is. Matthew Liberatore, 3-3, 3.07 ERA, .95 whip. Doesn't walk many batters. Only got 6 walks on the season. Only given up 2 home runs on the season. Damn. This Liberatore guy is a pretty damn good pitcher. Marsh, Kepler, and Cass have all been playing well, as has Bohm. Yeah, you still got to think big picture. NFL might have made a mistake starting the season opener with the Eagles. If ratings are the objective, people outside of Philly would just I don't know. I think the ratings will be fine because everybody either loves to hate or loves to love the Eagles and the Cowboys, and that was probably the thought process. Crawford incoming for center fielder. You know, I've been saying it for a while. He's my number 1 prospect in the Phillies system, not named Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter knows, or Howie Roseman knows what he has with dude ain't leaving. With an all-seeing eye shaped like a football. Yeah, let's see here. We all need a throwback DRC ad read. No. Got to get that subscriber count up. I'm not even embarrassing myself by looking for sponsors yet. We get the subscriber count up, which will get the views up. Then I'll go hunting for advertisers. And that's what we'll do. Cardinals have been playing Pirates and Rockies. That's why they won a few. We'll see. We'll see this weekend or this week. Eagles games tend to be the highest viewership. Yeah, because people love us or they love to hate us, Rick. And they're saving that Eagles Lions and Eagles Commanders and Eagles Bears. I bet you the Eagles Lions, Eagles Bears, and both Eagles Commanders will not be 1 o'clock or even 4. They're all going to be primetime games. The Eagles, I bet you the Eagles end up with at a minimum of 6 primetime games. And probably another 6 4 o'clock games. Anytime you're Super Bowl champions, you're going to bring in the views. You got polarizing players like Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts, Jalen Carter. You got the personalities of Nick Sirianni and Big Dom and whatnot. There's plenty of reasons that the Eagles do viewership and do ratings, pretty much. So, yeah. Anyway, what's on deck this week? We got a different schedule this week, guys, okay? So, obviously, today, we're wrapping up. I was going to do a draft lottery show, but I forgot that it was today. I thought it was tomorrow. So, no draft lottery show. But we'll be live tomorrow. We will talk, obviously, Sixers. I got to confirm it, but I'm supposed to have John Barchard on tomorrow. Got to double check with that. Got to confirm with John Barchard. So we'll look into that. But obviously tomorrow morning we'll have a show. We'll talk more Eagles. We'll talk Sixers lottery results, NBA draft lottery results in general. So that'll be on the agenda tomorrow night. Fairway to Heaven. Talking the PGA Championship Wednesday morning. We'll do our show. Wednesday night, we are going to try to go live Wednesday night for the Eagles schedule release. There will be no show on Thursday morning. I got a golf outing to play on Thursday. So we'll try to do 2 shows on Wednesday to make up for no Thursday show. Hopefully the NFL will cut down on KC primetime games. KC brings in the ratings too. Libs is due for a bad game versus the Phillies. Yeah, there's a little there. I guess you can have that argument. Sure. I don't know if I like the 6-4 prediction that Adam had. I'd say more of a low-scoring game like last night, like a 3-1, 4-2 kind of game. Sanchez will pitch another dominant performance tonight. It just comes down to, is a 3-1, 2-0, 4-2 lead in the 9th inning. Are you feeling confident with your Phillies? And I'm just not. There's gonna take, if Dave Dombrowski doesn't make any moves soon, it's gonna take a solid month of great performances for me to have confidence in this bullpen. I know Rick said, well, Corky Romano pitched well last night. One game ain't going to change that for me. Would the country know Big Dom if not for the Niners spat? I don't know. Probably not. And you know what? I wish that Niners spat never happened because I wish I didn't know who Big Dom was. Nooms. I'm so overblown by him. But you know what? It's still a rating strong. Bills do better when they play pitchers they've seen before. I don't know if the Phillies have seen Libra story. Let's see, game logs. Let's see if he pitched against the Phillies last year. 2024 game log for this Matthew Liberatore. Not that month. Not that month. Not that month. We faced him on June 2nd last year. He was a bullpen guy at that point. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. And he pitched twice in that series. So he went 2 1/3 innings in that series with 5 strikeouts against us. So he pitched twice out of the pen against us. Twice out of the bullpen last year. Is Barr related to the musician Barbara Carroll? Probably not. Let's not forget, prior to last season, Romano was an all-star back-to-back seasons. I mean, we don't have any choice but to not give up on him because he's still here. But I can't say I have confidence in him at this point just because of one good outing. Good morning. What's happening, my man? So we got the Cowgirl September 4th. Also, do you think we get that 1 pick? We're not getting the 1 pick. I would be utterly shocked if we got the 1 pick. Yes, we got the Cowboys. We've already had lots of predictions. I've even got a same-game parlay written down to go try to bet today. But we are not getting the 1 pick. When Fat Dom was featured at the White House with Hurts not there, I was embarrassed. I'm not going to get into the politics side of things, Barb. Not going to do that. Big Dom is just rolling with the celebrity treatment, but I'm sure, I'm sure Big Dom doesn't even really truly enjoy it, to be honest. Abel, Crawford, Kemp are all playing themselves into good trade bait. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't know about Justin Crawford, but Otto Kemp and Mick Abel can absolutely get traded without a doubt, in my opinion. Abel should have been traded already. While Kemp and Abel are playing well, you should get them all their values at their max right now. Mick Abel hasn't had a long-term history of success in the minors. Get rid of him while he's peaking right now. There's a guy on YouTube who claims that he communicates with aliens from a different dimension. He says that they live outside of time, space, and already know who wins the draft lottery. I didn't know where I was going sports related, mister. But, yeah. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Anyway, so if we get the number 1 pick, it means the NBA is forgiven us for the process. And as long as Silver is the prez, that ain't happening. Exactly. If we get flagged, Morey would go full Brett Brown and screw that up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I have less confidence in right now. Daryl Morey or Corky Romano closing games for the Phillies. Like, I have more confidence in Corky Romano being Jordan Romano than Daryl Morey doing anything. What's this? Fat Dom is collecting money like SAS for playing a cartoon character. Oh, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. I know who won't win the draft lottery, and that's just, yeah, exactly. It's not happening. I didn't even look at this year. I went back to last year. I forgot we played the Cardinals this year. Yeah, you and I know that's BS because he'd be rich. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, I don't know. Stephen A. I got to come up with an SAS nickname. I got the Dan Sillyman, the Chris Simpleton, Marcus Haystack. I got a lot of names. I don't have one for Stephen A. Skip Payless, which on a side note made me think of the Skip Payless hot take. And when I ratted on and rambled on about that customer that bitched me out badly because I was closed for Easter and he went out and found a new pizza shop, he came in again yesterday. He's now been in like 3 times since then. So I guess he didn't find a new pizza shop. So he just wanted to complain that I closed on Easter. And it still kept coming in. NHL draft lottery's rigged. Anything that happens behind closed doors is rigged. Islanders only had a 3% chance of winning the lottery. So you're saying there's a chance. It's going to be interesting tomorrow on this show when we talk about that. I really hope I can get John Barchard on tomorrow. Been working on this interview or this time for him for a little bit, trying to pick a date. But if not, obviously we're going to have a lot to talk about with the Sixers in the draft lottery. One of the top prospects in the NHL draft is from Long Island. Guess where he goes? I don't know. Las Vegas? Stephen A-hole. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty obvious one. Stephen A-hole. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. Where was Mitchie Poo today to tell me to do the YMCA? Say his name and he appears. Mitchie Poo, why haven't you told me to do the YMCA today? Please, guys, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m., maybe with John Barchard, but definitely talking Sixers lottery and obviously talking Eagles. And if John Barchard's on, a lot of media talk as well in the state of the Philadelphia sports media world and media in general. But we got a jam-packed week. Lots of good stuff coming. The NBA draft lottery. Eagles are playing the Cowboys in week 1. How about that? That is going to be something interesting right there. Love to see it. Everybody have a great day. Please tell one, tell all to hit this like button, share button, subscribe button. Go find me some friends. Stephen A. Sniff. He might be sniffing something. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. He claims that the aliens envy us because every day is something new. He says knowing the future is boring. Knowing the future would be boring, pretty much. It would be. But anyway, with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up right there today. Everybody have a great Monday. It's another new week here. Lots of exciting stuff for mid-May in Philadelphia sports here. So everybody have a great day. Go Birds. Bubbles up.